Oh, they're mad at me. It's okay. You know, I always come with you or come to you, come at you with positive energy the best I can. Today's message is going to be just as positive as any other messages I've ever put out. I don't think any message I've ever put out has actually ever been negative. It just has been geared towards a certain people because I want them to get the message more than anyone else. Having said that, today's message is one of those universal messages where we have to go back about a year and we won't even go back into the videos. We'll just go back into the message. And I said that this whole mental health thing would fall apart on itself. It would fall to pieces. How you doing, sister? Excuse me. And the mental health thing has become a totally crucial left out piece of what has happened. It's popping, bro. It's actually kind of sad that they don't talk about it now because they make it seem as if people rioting and people looting and people protesting as if that has nothing to do with their mindset, right? Clearly, if a person leaves their knee on your neck for 8.5 minutes, clearly they have a mindset about something. If a person shoots you down, even though they know that the weapon that you have in your hand is not lethal, clearly it's a mindset. So people are like, how can you slow clap? I'm like, easy. I don't even have to bring my hands together. I just stop them right there. I don't know why, because we all know what was talked about. We all know that these people brought this upon themselves. We all know that everything that they're going through right now is something that they wished upon themselves. I said it. They bring it upon themselves in that real slow clap, but I feel good. I had to get it off my chest before it got too late, people thought that I would have either forgotten about it or it wouldn't be relevant. Let me just tell you how pertinent is the information is that we put out here. Last night, when we were ending, there was a gentleman picking up the message that we had laid down about the Sephardic Jews that were Portuguese and were Spaniards. And what was funny about this message is that the young man goes into this diatribe about how Christopher Columbus himself was not actually Italian, but more than likely a Portuguese. And what he wanted to really say was that Christopher Columbo was probably actually a Jew, Israeli. Or you guys are like, why does that have to do with your slow clap? Give me a moment. You see, it's the mindset that a person like that has who didn't believe me before, but would hear what I was saying and be reminded of history and then pick up exactly what it is that I had to say. Now let's go ahead and slow clap on this message. Brothers and sisters, it will never be the same again. Slow clap to that. No. Slow clap to that. That's right. It will never be the same again. Nobody understands that. They can't even get it. Their mindsets are weak. See, when I say it'll never be the same again, in Christopher Columbus and all the little things, let's just go ahead and just tie it together. The same people who believe that the system that they're trying to bring down was built by a man, hold on, who I told the people already, listen, follow me. I already told the people who started slavery. So the clap begins with the fact that the man whom they credit with all these other things that he actually has nothing to do with, that man, you see, set in motion these things that happen today. But it's okay though, because the feeble mind can't even understand that. A weak mind can't even begin to even process that piece of information, let alone can it understand or appreciate the fact that the time of the Gentiles are about to be fulfilled. See, if I keep telling people everything that's going to happen, right on, and then it takes longer for it to happen, when it happens, they'll forget that I said it. So I've come to the point in the conclusion that all I need to do now is to stand off to the side. I've already said what's going to happen. Literally, I've already said it. That's right, brothers and sisters. That's what a slow clap is. One of these, right? That nice and, like when somebody does like something epic, right? This is that moment where I realize, oh, it's epic. They lost, and they're taking and holding L's that they never held. They've never held and never thought they were going to hold. I'm glad that people are scared. See, here's the question that I have to ask you. Is when is a good time for the end? Is a good time for the end is when you're dead and gone, so that way you don't actually have to do anything or worry about the terror, the shock, the awe, the excitement, the joy, the tribulation, the mourning that would take place. Right. Because sometimes in my mind, I believe that the people that I'm dealing with are people who actually don't want to have to fight for anything. It says if they want everyone to do their fighting for them. But don't worry, I already talked about this already. I won't go back into that sick title that people, some for whatever reason, it makes them feel some type of way, as if they want to regurgitate everything that they just ingested. So as opposed to me doing that to them, I'd rather just say that, watch what's going to happen. In all the places that you think that bad things couldn't happen, don't worry, it's going to happen. I don't need the Most High God to strike me down while I speak to you for that to be the truth. I remember speaking just out of the side of my neck, it seemed, as ways in which the world would fall apart. And we're talking about almost verbatim one of the instances that I used, and verbatim the way that it would be used is happening. But where were your black leaders to tell you about China stopping to take world trash over a year ago? Where were they at to tell you that that was done? To tell you that that was on that would start something. And that was the beginning of bad things. Where were your black speakers at to tell you that a brother was like, yo, China's economic winter has just started? That's on my other channel. See, you'd have to realize that I've actually brought forth the information, put it forth, told the people what's happening in real time. Corporate greed. There was no one else. I have been on the forefront of telling people what was coming to them. All by myself. It doesn't matter if I get 1 or 2 views, because I will do that. I spoke it. I put it out to the universe. This is what makes people sad to me, is because their inability to hang tight and to hang into a situation makes them the kind of person who is susceptible to being changed, to being used against the people. See, what's even more sad is that there are people who are not the people who want to be the people, who will use their supposed to be the peopleness against the people. Come on. Tell them all kinds of wrong things. This is why I can clap slow. Because it's happening right before my eyes, right before my very eyes. I'm getting to see it. I'm getting to witness it. They murdered another young brother, whom very much I could have been. I wish I could show you guys the video from me in front of the courthouse when two Pierce County deputies attempt to make an arrest and they fail. So they pull out their taser guns and I acquiesce. I can't make this up. This happened. That's not the only instance, but that's just the one that I can think of that will really drive home what I'm talking about. It's on camera. It's recorded. It's public record. I was forced to rewatch the incident several times, even though I didn't want to. Excuse me. And so that's one of those things where it's like, for people who've never actually been accosted, once again, they've never been in that situation. And who are they to speak to my situation? Who are they to even speak to me? Can't even be my water boy. And want to talk to you about how hard it is to be black. I'm telling you right now, as I was expelled from a courtroom, I left on my own volition and was accosted. Okay? By officers of the state who are supposed to be peace officers, who ultimately are supposed to be public servants. This is why I can slow clap. Because I've been through it and I know what it feels like. They can't understand. They won't understand. They do their very best to not get traffic tickets. They do their very best to not look crazy by not giving their brothers and their sisters who are poor and homeless provision, provender, as they would say. So as to look like one who understands that this person did this to themselves, even if they didn't. And they play this game. And I don't. And I'm telling you right now that the slow clap is on. You just can't hear it. When you hear those people say Black Lives Matter, and they're all white, when I told you that the nig lover was going to stand up for the people, don't worry, the slow clap is on. When they can't actually assign to people extremist protection orders because they'd have to assign it to thousands of people at once, who would all argue that they were just peacefully protesting their First Amendment right. Right. The slow clap is on. See, this is why things that I have no control over are the best. All I can do is speak. But for some odd reason, what I speak comes to life. I wonder where that sister's at who used to work in Mexico. Where's she at? To talk out the side of her neck about living on the beach. Right. Because I'm not slow clapping, am I? Oh, but I am. With invisible hands, even if you can't see it. It doesn't matter. It's the loudest, quietest slow clap you never witnessed, but had eyes on at the same time. It's the greatest thing ever. You should slow clap too, because if you've been here with a brother, if you envision the end like a brother has, do you know at a record rate they're turning down migrants at the border? How much longer? Until they say enough. See, the white man's worst fear is for all of his cronies, black, brown, red, yellow, and white alike, to all say that we have done something unrighteous to the Negro man brought here to this land, and to the Negro man and woman that were already here in this land. See, there's a level of appreciation that you truly have to have for what they have not done for us ever as a people. You have to be thankful to say, you know what? They've never actually told us that we were different. Do you know I saw a magazine article that just so happened to be gleaning some things. And the article said that for reparations, listen, while I slow clap, they said for reparations to be done properly, the different lineages of Black people have to be discussed, pretty much. So saying, who else said that other than I? Where they at? Where they at? Because only me to say that Aboriginals, Indigenous, Native, and the strange Negro brought here are all different people. This guy, all by himself, not even afraid. And I didn't need nobody's permission. But the slow clap is here. Don't worry. When I get mine, and I get my trillion, because I guarantee for a fact, I'm good for that. I'm good for a whole trillion. Like it or not. Hate it or love it. And they can put it all on my own back. And I'll carry it out here by myself. Because I'm telling y'all, you just don't know. The weight of the pressure of knowing that is something totally different than people could truly appreciate. How do you speak to things that people won't appreciate, won't acknowledge, can't and don't understand? How? And then present it to them as their brother. Excuse me. So he could be held accountable to the degree of their brother. Never took myself out of that realm. This is why you know what I look like, so that way you can hold me accountable. So if you think that holding me accountable is righteous because I said out of my own two lips, all Black people are not the same, and I meant it, and I've stood on it for years, and I've used genetics to prove me, pictures to prove me right, and now here we are in 2020, people just now speaking up about it. Because they're just now starting to see that, yes, one little cog can help turn the wheel. No matter what they think, rusty cog or not. Slow clap to that, my people. That one day you'll be acknowledged for the exact lineage that you are. They can't understand. They just can't understand. It's not who they are. So it's not fair to them to be held to the account of me. And I totally agree. Because they're not me. And I should not be held to the account of them, of a person who was not me. And I will not call them lesser, but they are not in the fullness that I am in. So much so that it shows, and there is no denying it. And there is no favorability by a so-called dominant society. I am what I am. They can hate, love it, like it, whatever. Doesn't really matter. The truth is this: Red Flagistan has fallen to pieces. What are they going to give? That's why the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, Chaz. Are they going to give that entire zone of people extremist protection orders? Huh? I highly doubt it. But here's the funny thing: Demetrius Antoine Jones didn't take hostage a part of a city or nothing like that. In fact, he stood in place of his place of business while defending a brother, and it cost him everything. And that's why I slow clap. That's a slow, because it cost me everything. So much more so than people even want to even give it credit to. It's not just losing our minds that people have to recognize that we've lost as a people. It's the ability to look ourselves in the faces sometimes. And they're afraid to say that. There are men that are pastors, that are reverends, that are city councilmen, city councilwomen, right? Deacons and deaconesses, right? Ministers who have all but given up everything that they have just for the sake of not being accosted, and then call us brother and sister. I love y'all so much, you just don't even know. You know, let me just go ahead and tell y'all this. Every single one of your prayers has put me in this position that I'm in right now. For people who don't believe in prayer, your positive affirmations at the highest level have put me in this position. That's right. To be able to slowly bring my hands together. That friction, when they collide, creates a frequency that, when induced upon the ears, it's a sound that's like this. So, because I appreciate you so much, because you allowed me to do that, and you just don't know how great of a people you are. You're an amazing people, epic people. That's what makes you so beautiful. Is because you just don't recognize what it is that you're going to do one day. I like to believe that I'm talking to only special people. And that's why the Most High God made it to where I only deal with so many. I like to believe that I'm only dealing with the best of the best. That's why small unit cohesion is so important. Because I don't need the world around me. I just need my people, those who truly believe with everything in them. It means more to them to not believe than to believe. Because that would hurt their soul so much. You see, I can't express faith. The same believability they have that America will recover is the same believability I have infinite number, infinite fold, that one day my people will be up out of this land. And those that would like to stay here shall stay. And they will toil in vain in the fire. But me and mine, we will go. Like I told you, they killed every single person that ever said that they were going to go to the world courts to seek to have America held accountable. Every one of them. I think, with the exception of a couple of knuckleheads who had nothing good in mind, I'm the only one who's actually still here. And it's only because nobody was ever behind me, I think, is the reason why I'm still alive. So I think the Most High God that I never, ever had a following that was worth monitoring, to monitor me, to want to kill me up off the earth by any means. Because that is very true. You know, I've always thought that it's not enough for people to just do the right thing sometimes. Sometimes you have to just put everything on the line. And in my most sour moment, I was totally upset with myself, just to be perfectly honest with you, about putting it all on the line. And I was even more upset that I put it all on the line for a man that is not a American born black man born in Africa. And if people are like, why does that matter? I'm like, it really doesn't when you truly think about the fact that he and I look more similar than not. It only matters when you talk about the mindset that I had for him, towards him, and the mindset that he may have had towards his own situation. Whereas I thought that this is a brother who needs help, who looks like he's distressed, and I won't let these people do whatever to him that they seek to do. Maybe being too comfortable in my own occupation and in my own station, feeling too secure in myself. But I did what I knew was the right thing. Excuse me. And to this day, I always ask myself, like, was that the right thing to do? You know, did you do the right thing? And when I see these brothers get murdered by the police, who I'm sure they just wish there was a Demetrius Antoine Jones there, who was armed and ready and willing to do whatever, then they might still be here. And because of that, I make sure that I tell myself that it was worth the right thing. It was worth that. Because otherwise than that, it's not worth it. Otherwise than that, I'm just some dumb nigga who stood up for some silly African who had no business doing what he was doing. I'm not some brother standing on the line, on the very front of it, as the tip point of the spear, you see. And if I'm just some sucker who's just a sucker, who didn't do the right thing, who actually should have let that man just be accosted by the system, then I'm a fool. Give me one moment, please. I really do know that it's a sad thing that they don't believe that what I did was the right thing to do, and that's what makes everything that they're gonna do fail. It's a failure already before it happened. Does anybody understand that? Does anybody appreciate that? Before they even started, they failed. Before they even began, they failed. Right? That's the true thing. I can't make this up because they don't believe that every every essence and lesson of standing up for what you believe to be blackness is worthy. And if they're the and if the people who have the most people listening to them are the ones to deem what causes are worthy and what causes are not worthy, then we're already doomed to begin with. Because they all want to be like white folks. It makes me sad to think that there's young brothers who are going to grow up in this country and who are going to never have ever watched and witnessed and experienced what is a black exploitation film, which is a film where black actors and for the most part black directors, it was as much as they could black operated and owned. But these are black centric movies. So even if a white man put the front money up, this was a white man who wasn't afraid to talk about the man. Might even have been a white man who felt like he was the man and felt like we need to shine light on folks like me. Right. It's just something to think about. I'm not uh, right about everything, but I'm surely not wrong about it all either. One of the biggest problems that we're going to have as people, and one of the biggest issues that we're going to have as a collective, is just knowing what is right and what is wrong. If I, Demetrius Antoine Jones, is telling you right now that the name that I've been given is a name that is one that I only accept in this society, and I'm not trying to change my name right now into something that I don't feel is appropriate until I want to change it to something that I know is righteous, then that's what it is. But it doesn't mean that you get to tell me that that's my name because this is the name that I was given in this society. Right. So this is why I can totally understand people being upset and also people wanting to be more liberated behind the idea and the stance on either side. Because there's people who will lie to you and deceive you and beguile you. But there's also just people who know that they're a black person who was adopted by white people, you know, and God forbid their name is something like Sky, right? And they're like, I just don't like this name, right? I feel more like Isaiah, you know what I mean? Right? I feel more like a Daniel, right? I feel more like a Joshua type dude. I even feel more like a Moses they feel. You know what I'm saying? Than this fraudulent name you didn't gave me. But that's how it goes. There are in this country thousands and thousands of brothers and sisters who were named names that were not akin to what it is that they would be put put under. That's not who we are as a people. And they've been around the people to understand. They're like, wow, I've never met anybody named this name. Why am I the only one named like this? Sky. You name me Sky Woman? Really? Right? Or sir? And I'm a man? See, that's the type of thing that you have to recognize. Okay, that they've done to us. But once again, this all goes into the slow clap that their wickedness has brought this upon them. I can't feel anything. How can you feel something for them? You better not. You're wrong if you do. This is what they've asked for. They've asked for teenage delinquents to run around in the streets who've never done anything for anybody. Never in their lives. Never in their lives have they done anything for anyone. And now these same teenage delinquents want us to hear their voices. And people calling them the future. These are children who don't even have a fucking trade, by the mind. By the way. By the mind, here I go, right? Something to throw out there. Don't know how to plaster a wall up? Nothing. Don't know how. I mean, they don't know how to put a. They don't know how to do anything. They literally don't know how to actually build a wall. Where they don't know. And these are the people that people are like, oh, because they're tearing shit up. They're right. Told y'all, don't worry. Slow clap is coming. Because all the baby retards and retards alike are all acting up. And then you got the people who won't even show themselves, cheering on these poor babies who ain't never known no love really for the most part. Because buying your child an iPhone is not loving them. Let me repeat myself. Embellishing the child with witchcraft that the world has imbued upon us is not love. Having said that, I know for a fact that people just can't accept that the babies that have been running around, running amok, are going to deliver them up to death. It's okay. Certain things I just keep to myself. But I thought I would share that so that way they understand. You better keep your babies inside. That's right. You can't. You can't do anything. Right. Mm. You see? Because the way you raised them has created this. A man's foes are those of his own household. So a man that's been divorced and has been left by the woman, relatively, he has nothing to worry about. But the man that has kowtowed to the woman, made sure that she has been his queen, so to speak, because they shall cleave to one another and they shall give in to one another. So there's nothing wrong with this, but there's an issue when the other becomes such a dominant force and a negative force that the other, man or woman, cannot see that my significant other has now turned their side to righteousness. Having said that, the babies are out here and they're running amok and they're holding hands with the same people who I have told people are their enemies. There is no thing that you can do with your enemies. If they say that we are no longer enemies, prove it and show me and put your life on the line. Put all it is that you hold valuable and sacred and holy, like my people have, on the line. Put that on the line. And then we'll know. But all the holding of hands and the singing of songs are just confirmation to the slow clap that was coming, that they could not contain. They could not give an entire nation of people an extremist protection order. And I stand true as I say it. They hate me because I'm right. Brothers and sisters, as I speak this to you, I want this to be on your minds. As small as a channel as I am, did you know that YouTube went out of their way to create a dummy channel, to create a to post a comment that they would delete that only I can see on my email, where in which I would have to show you my screen to verify my claim. But why is this even happening? Because they know. Because they can feel it. I don't need to claim to you that I am a righteous man. I'm not wicked. I'm not wicked to have said that. I can't put it in better words than that. I'm not an evil man. Have I thought about evil things? Have I done wicked or evil things? That is a undoubtable truth. One that I don't deny. One that if you ask me, I'm going to tell you. Something that if you don't ask me, if you allow me the breath and the time, I will bring it forth to you. So that way you understand and know that the person that you're dealing with does not in their mind believe at any point that they're perfect. I just know that I am not unrighteous like the ones who would video record a man being choked to death, okay? And then go on and to pillage, loot, and to otherwise destroy the livelihood of peoples who you can't even verify have ever done anything to your people, who could claim that we come from a long line of abolitionists. You're going to tell me that some of the people who had their businesses destroyed don't come from lines of people who helped try to free black people? Right. So it's like, on what line and on what level are you willing to capitulate your people to commit wickedness? My ally is my ally in every instance, and they're never my enemy. My enemies are my enemies, and they make it clear that they're my enemy. They make it clear that they're adversarial to whatever. They are confrontational to anything that I choose to do. And my allies, they have put themselves in a position of being friendly and being favorable to what I choose to do, to support it, and the means that they can support it. And you have black people running around here talking about what they think white people should, could, can't, won't, don't, couldn't. All it's fall back. Fall back. Because you're here right now. And if you want to make a difference right now, and you want to reach out to those people right now, and you want them to hear you right now, you need to speak to them like they're listening. That's why I speak to y'all like this. Is why I come at you like this. So that way it doesn't matter when a person watches it, they can feel like I'm coming at them right then, right there. They need to feel that. I need to be in your living room, at your coffee table, at your dinner table. I need to be in the car, in the front. I need to be wherever you're at with you. Like I'm talking with you, like this is a real conversation we're having. So you can feel the gravity and the weight that it has on my soul. So I can put it on your soul so that way you can be active with it. The slow clap is not something to be happy about. I thought at the time, being prideful, being wanton in my thought, that it was going to be a moment where in which I could gloat. And I can't. All I can do is hang my head and be sad. Because it has been the blood of my people that have brought upon the slow clap. So, right. How do you how do you how do you bring your hands together for that? When you know that your success is totally hinged on the fact that people who look just like you had to die. There's nothing to clap for. And that thought and idea alone. But when I clap for the fact that the people who thought that I was stupid, thought that I didn't know anything, thought I didn't understand, thought that I was wrong. That's why we clap. Because I'm so sad. I ask myself, how many of these people actually cry real tears for the people? How many of them have prayed for the families of these people? Because they tell you that praying won't work. So that means that they don't believe in prayer. But I do. So that means that I'm all by myself praying for the families of these brothers and sisters? Praying for their souls? Huh? Praying for mercy for them? That idea alone is atrocious. I'm sick. Totally sick. Because it's not going to change, like the brother said in Georgia today. And what was sad is because he's a lawyer saying that he said verbatim, I don't know what justice is. I don't. He said, we're tired. What is there to tell somebody? Real justice is blood for blood. That is the law. But because that law can't be kept inside, they're asking people to settle for blood for trinkets. It's wickedness. And I can't be the only brother who feels like this. There's sisters who feel like this. There are black people who feel like this and know it's the truth. That's why it's so sad, because when do they say, you know what, we can't fix it here, we must leave, and all that we've built? If the true children of God came into a land pre-furnished and were cursed and have built up a land and furnished it for others, surely those children of God can leave this land. And they don't have to feel guilty about what they're leaving behind. Because they should know they've done their best, their absolute best, to do right by their enemies. Not by their God, but by their enemies. For that alone, we deserve to leave. Shouldn't be anybody holding us back or keeping us here. The world want to see something done right for black people? Come get us the fuck up out of here. How about that? People like me too can't. I can't even legally. I can't even leave the state I'm in. Is that not hold me against my fucking will? Y'all, y'all have no idea. When this ERPO's over, I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to be here. I'm tired of this place. I owe nothing to America. Nothing. I owe this place nothing. You don't owe it anything either. If you're over the age of 40, you have given this country some of the best years of your life. If you're under the age of 40, you need to get what is left of some of the best years of your life and consolidate it to yourself to make something worthy of it. Fighting for causes that will never change is not worthy. It is unrighteous. And you put your children through this shit. And wonder why I'm so frustrated. I'm tired of people like that. Sacrifice their babies. Put their babies out on the front line. Because they're worn out and tired. There's nothing here for us. You don't owe these people anything. Do you get that, my people? Do you follow that? This is why they're going to hate me. That's why they hate me now, because I'm telling you something totally different. See, my divest movement is so real. I'm like, divest all the way. Just don't give a fuck about none of it. And watch it burn. Right. It's the problem with black folks. But once again, though, we're all not the same. So there's going to be those of them who look nothing like Meech, and some of them who look very similar to Meech, who are actually genetically different, who feel as if this is worth fighting for. This is I can't leave America. This is my home. Not realizing there's brothers just like me who were like, man, there was a time when I thought that this country was unbeatable, untouchable. There was a time where nobody could beat America to me. Wet behind the ears, young Marine, just didn't know very much about how things really worked. This is what it was. And I'm just a grown man now who just knows that is not the case. This place is very vulnerable. The people are very vulnerable. And if the leaders don't act very soon, promptly and swiftly, the people are going to be in a situation that they can't get out of. I told you already that the coronavirus is an intestinal disease. It is something that deals with what you eat, which is why they're trying to tamper down on the food source, because they can't dictate, which they know what part of the food source is actually doing it, but they want for all peoples to feel the pinch. You understand? Because people who have been at home eating record number of crab and lobster and things that are filled with mercury, clams and oysters, are going to get sick. Right. I guess you're going to blame that on, I guess that's coronavirus too, huh? See, I don't want to get carried away with all these types of things. I just want y'all to understand how my mind sees it and how I look at it. We are a small group of people, a very special group of people. We're small. And if we don't appreciate our legitimate ability to save ourselves, in the instance that just not listening to our enemies, that saves us. Because it gives us the ability to hear the Most High God call us from danger. But if I'm listening to my enemy, there's no way I can hear the Most High God's voice. It's just impossible. And you have too many people who are enthralled by the voices of their enemies. They are mesmerized, if you will. And that's where we're at. Don't worry, they're going to be the ones who go down first. But the slow clap that they don't know is for them is coming. I pray for them. I pray for their souls. You know, today I had a dream, and I was laying in my bed. And in this dream, there was this character who I could tell was not supposed to be in my dream. And as opposed to inviting them into the dream landscape, almost like a realm between dreams, I bring them there and I wake up and I leave them there. And the reason why I tell you this is because you just have to understand that sometimes your enemies have to be put in a place where in which they can do no harm. And sometimes you may feel as if you're in danger to bring them somewhere where they can do no harm to you. But you must appreciate that they are in no position to do harm to you. The Most High God is great. It's Papa Martin. I just ask you guys to just look at life a little more glass half full than half empty, you know, and just see it for what it is. You know, Martin, there's young brothers and young sisters your age, just to speak to the situation. Martin's 19, about to be 20. I don't think people understand. The people that are out there running around right now are Martin's age. I can guarantee you for a fact that Martin has more sense than all those people. Because somebody might even ask Martin to go out there. But I know Martin is smart enough to know to not involve himself in such things. But he was raised better. All of us didn't have that kind of upbringing where in which our parents instilled in us that sort of basic sense. Standing up for the right thing and doing the wrong thing are totally different. If they burned down every police station where George Floyd was, I mean, I'm talking about everyone in that city of Minneapolis. Nothing to say about that. The fact that they touched one business is totally absurd. Totally absurd. Because they can't vindicate that. There's nothing that actually makes that okay. Like last night, Brother Howard that was killed Pretty sure his last name is Howard. I can't think of his first name right now. But the young brother who was murdered, they burned down the Wendy's. Like Wendy's murdered the man, right? It's so think about this. Think about all those people that worked at that Wendy's that had a lit. They have lot. They had a lit. Oh my goodness, they have things they have to take care of. The people who did that nonsense, Martin's age for the most part, and the rah-rahs, my age, and the ones pushing on the rah-rahs, all the rah-rah people are 40, 50, 60 years old. It's pathetic. Burn down the Wendy's, sister. Burned it down. Once again, I'm trying to understand what the Wendy's did to this. Do you know what I'm saying? To the young brother, right? Now, if you're saying because he fell asleep in the drive-thru and they called the cops on him, so what? They're supposed to go. Once again, I need y'all to understand how dangerous real life is. People have guns in their cars. People have weapons in their vehicles. God forbid they go out there and tap on his brother's window and he wakes up and he's incoherent and he harms one of them. Now people are like, why didn't they call the police first? Right. And as opposed to this brother being cool, he resists, disarms one of the officers, okay, and creates a situation. Does he deserve to be killed? No. But did he create a situation? Yes, he did. Because I don't give a damn what you tell me. Those police officers who were in the hot seat, they didn't fall asleep in the drive-thru. There's a level of adulthood and maturity you have to apply to a situation. So Wendy's is supposed to just say, you know what? Forget all of our business for this one person. And the same people who are upset would tell you, get your money. I don't understand. Oh, Rashard Brooks. Right on, bro. Look, nothing to do with me. The niggas in Atlanta is, listen, check this right here out. The ATL has a whole bunch of homosexual black men running around. What are they going to do? Be homosexual black dudes. Be flamboyant and get nothing done. That's what faggot black dudes do. Right. Anybody want to be mad about that? Okay, then. Be mad at the fact that this dude. Okay, Howard is the attorney. Right on. Yeah. Okay, so Howard's a good brother. I like that brother. I like the brother Howard. I feel bad for brother Brooks. I do, but I need y'all to get this. How many people stayed there and waited for the police to come as opposed to waking the brother up in his vehicle? They're all responsible. But no, I'm going to get on my phone. I'm going to record this shit. This shit going to go viral like George Floyd. Right. Those are the kinds of people you're dealing with. Those are the kinds of men and women you're marrying your sons and daughters off to. Cowards in the first degree. Don't worry though, because you're going to have to hold that L sooner than later, my friends, if that's you. Mad at me? Angry at me? See, I don't come to drop the hammer. Sometimes I just come just to talk. But I get worked up because I think about these things and I'm like, whoa, nobody said this. Do I know it is totally out of pocket? They murdered the young brother? Totally out of pocket. But bros, the whole situation is out of pocket, y'all. This is another instance of if you did something before, this would have never happened. Now I know y'all gonna be like, man, Meech, this next instance you're gonna use is crazy. Check this out. How do you know that somebody in there didn't think that the person in their car was a terrorist? Ready to blow everything up. How do you know that? Like, I mean, how can you verify like that's just not what happened? Right. Me and you, nobody can. So when there's a lack of understanding, and I can say an intentional misunderstanding, we're all left at a crossroads where we're trying to figure out who's right, who's wrong. But the greater question is that if one has given unto Caesar what is his, what am I guilty of? And this is what I say to you, brothers and sisters. I already said this before. See, this is why you can't be mad at me. Because I already said, do what you have to do. Do what the system is asking you to do. You're not wrong then. If they do something to you, they're wrong. Am I telling you to stand there and just let somebody kill you? No. But the difference between this man and George Floyd, stark differences. George Floyd put up zero fucking resistance. None. This guy disarmed a police officer, has a taser in his hand. Is a taser a lethal weapon? Normally not. But if you have underlying health conditions, it can be. Now, if you're a police officer with underlying health conditions, trying to tase somebody else, you're out of pocket. Let me go ahead and say that. Having said that, neither one of those police officers was like, yo, because this is the part that bothers me about people, is that like these dudes didn't do this to somebody else before in that same day. Maybe somebody else before that we don't know about, but I'm talking about that day. Word? Who else did they wrestle with, try to tase, get disarmed, and then gun them down? Who else fell asleep in a drive-thru that day on them? They thought the shit was probably going to be routine. Now, now I'm going to say this right here. Did they do the wrong thing by trying to boss up on my mans? Of course. You're hella wrong for that. You're all the way wrong for that. But you're not wrong for doing your job. See, this is the problem that people are having. Because they're talking about, well, defund the police. Okay, well then police yourself. But when your daughters get raped, when your sons get murdered, when your houses get broken into, okay, when bad things happen that should not happen, it's on you. You don't get to have it both ways. And that's the problem with black people. They talk all this bullshit out their fucking necks and have no idea what it takes to keep in line all those who would not stay in line on their own volition and on their own free will. It's easy to say defund the police. Then you fucking go out there and when my grandmama, I had no grandmama, but when my grandmama, when my auntie, when my mama, when my sister get their head busting open, you better do something about it then. Right. That's how the fuck it works. You don't get to just say, holler out bullshit like defund the police, reallocate funds. You better, okay then, who's going to police these people? You're telling me that people don't need anyone to oversee the wrongdoings that take place between them? You're full of shit. That's the problem right there. They want white people to stand up and protest for them. White man kill a black man. Oh, this motherfucker gotta die. Where does the bullshit end? Where does it end? Is it gonna end when the guy who you thought murdered a black man who you thought was white really has a black father and a white mother and he's passing for white? Is this when this shit ends? When the fuck does it end? And talking about it ends when we get reparations. You cowards don't even know what reparations are. Most of y'all are afraid to put blood on your hands. 97% of people walking around on earth don't want to hurt nobody and trust me, don't have the true inclination to hurt anyone. Maybe the thought, but not the actual inclination, the will, the conviction to do so. And they irritate me because it is so easy to get together in a big group of people and to act like you're courageous. It's just a group of cowards who all by themselves would never act out all by themselves. That's what makes them cowards. You got black people out here running around talking about Black Lives Matter. Let me tell you this. Black Lives Matter would be a legitimate protest group, would be a legitimate group if there was no black drug dealers right now in the country. Not one. Not even a black person working in pharmaceuticals. Okay? That's how you have to put that type of agenda forward. You don't get to yap at the side of your neck about, oh, people from another tribe can't kill my clan. But we can. And people who look like our clan can kill our clan. Fuck kind of shit is that? Once again, cowards. 10th degree. 10th degree cowards. Highest level. And a part of me feels for them because I know that they're not trying to be afraid of change or afraid of doing the right thing. But the problem is that they're afraid of doing the right thing. And they're like, I'm not doing that. By no means will I do that. That's where we're at. What good does it do somebody to say that the police officers used excessive force? Once again, before I let it get this far, me, myself, and I is getting involved. I know you guys are like, what could you do? I'm like, dude, it was only a couple cops versus one dude. I'm like, I could easily put myself in between them and be like, gentlemen, you need to chill the fuck out. But it's because there's nobody there who's willing to take the hot one if need be. That's the problem. Anybody can get on their phone and be like, look what they're doing. Oh my God, it's an injustice. It's unjust. Oh, it's corrupt. Anybody can do that. Takes a real man to say, you know what? My children are in the station wagon right now. But if I be damned if I watch this happen. Hey, babies, you stay right here. I'll be right back. And whether that man makes it back or not, no matter what happens, he knows I'm doing the right thing. You're like, he just left his babies to save a life. It's the problem with people. When will they prioritize righteousness? Oh, because you had your baby with you, you couldn't do nothing, huh? I pray to God they use that same weak ass excuse when you need help. Talking about fucking Christopher Columbus. Let me tell you something about that dude real quick. Because my mind just shifted real quick. Caveat real fast. I've been telling y'all that the Jews, the Assyrians, whatever, Portuguese, okay? But to be more specific, Sephardic Jews, okay? I've always told you guys that they're the ones who jump shit off. Back to the message. It just bothers me that nobody gets this. It bothers me. They want to lock arms with the same people that are the problem. You know, I cannot stand O'Shea Duke Jackson. Can't stand him. But you know what, though? He dropped a video the other day that I watched, a little piece of. And the Asian dude, supposed to have a black chick as his as the mother of his children, goes on to say that 99% of black people are stupid. We're not going to get into the explanation of this because it doesn't even matter. What matters is this. Is that a dude who has children with a woman who's supposed to be black would call all of our people stupid. The same people that you're supposed to be locked arms with doing this protest and shit. Right. You think he's the only one who thinks 99% of us are stupid? That's why I really brought it up. If you think it's just the Asian guy who thinks like that, now white people think like that. Hispanics think like that. The Indians think like that. Certain groups of islanders think like that. Hell, even Africans think like that. Right. 99% of us, they think all of us are stupid. And it just boils down to a lack of unity. But you know what's so funny, though, is that people who speak like that are normally often parasites. Why you got a black wife? Why you dress black? Why you talk black? Why do you try to sort of kind of act black, right? And then try to say that black people are 99% stupid. It's that sort of mentality of the people that you're dealing with. That's why I slow clap. See, I don't have to talk about sleeping with the enemy. But I know that most black people are sleeping with their enemies. When I say most, I'm talking about like the black people that are like not in like serious relationships, right on. Most of them are sleeping with their enemies. The person that just left, sleeping with their enemy. Fact. Facts. Think I'm lying. And these are the kind of same people who want you to hold. Once again, they're hold arms with this. Once again, they're locked arms with the people that I'm like are the problem. And it's that type of mentality as to why, you know what I'm saying? That's why we're here. You feel me? You feel me, Dre? That's why we're here, Dre, and not there. Because for this long, they sat around. All right? You feel me? Man, straight Spygate. And this is what I'm talking about. Those are the black people who you have to be aware of. Because they're hearing everything that a brother like me says. They'll take it and they'll manipulate it. Hell, they'll even use it in the same way just to get you to do something that you wouldn't normally do, to get you hurt. Right. Something to think about. See, they can't stand me. They don't have to, they don't, they actually, I would prefer them to hate me. It's better that way. It's easier that way. It's more comfortable that way. But while they hate me and can't stand me, acknowledge the one that you hate and can't stand. Don't just make it seem like he's a figment of your imagination. Having said that, brothers don't get to fight for things that really aren't important. They get dragged in everybody else's fight and get told how important that fight is. So they've never fought for anything that's not important per se. But brothers have never actually fought for their own cause. The closest they got to it, every leader of the movement and any minor leader were all murdered. Every one of them. The one time black people were like, you know what? We're not going to take it. The one time they decided to do that shit caused black people everything. Think about that for a moment. Am I tripping? And for some odd reason, people think that I'm out of my mind to be like, something's not right about this. Oh, they're just letting you protest and letting you do this and letting you do that. They're putting together something diabolical. Y'all do get that, right? Diabolical. People talking about Jacob's struggle. But you better be worried about you. Because the funniest thing is that what about for people who aren't Israelites, right? Does Jacob's struggle apply to them? See, it's like, once again, there has to be a level of understanding that is applied to all these situations. Doesn't matter. I couldn't even care less. I pray that these people are in a position where they can't help themselves and they're actually totally at the mercy of their enemies. Now, diabolical is here, sister. It's not coming. It's already here. They're already planning and plotting it out. What are black people actually doing about black people getting killed? Nothing. See, here's the thing. If in any one of the cities where black people have been killed, there was a brother or a sister who went off and just touched up a couple police officers to be like, yeah, this is how I'm feeling about that, I wouldn't feel so alarmed. But I have a feeling that there's going to be a bunch of black people who, I'm not going to say let themselves get killed, but should not have died. There's going to be a lot of black people who should not have died. And it'll get far worse before it gets better. Whether anybody believes that or not, I don't really care. You know, it's like Right. If if people believe me when I said that what? Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, sister. They murdered that young brother. Me and Andre talked about it, and I was like, the only speculative thought that I could say that he didn't hang himself, or that he killed himself, was that he wanted to try to jump something off between the races of people. But I just don't see that. You know, but that's the only thing. Is like if you're already suicidal, then or you're a martyr to the cause, then you might do something that seems unthinkable. You know, see, sister, I'm not so into the moment that I can't just stand back and look at it. You know what I mean? Of course they are. But they've already planned it, sister. They're playing it out now. There's nothing that can be done. I don't think there's very much that can be done to reverse what evil they're going to do. It's okay. One of these cities are going to have a whole lot of people get laid out and killed by the National Guard or by the police very soon. It's just a matter of time until some of these foolhardy knuckleheads believe that they can actually go toe to toe with law enforcement, with a couple of pea shooters and a few drum magazines, and not going to be good. And people are like, I can't believe you would wish that on black people. I'm not wishing nothing on them. I'm just telling y'all what's going to happen. Y'all don't have to believe me. Do I want it to happen? No, but it's just like, what else looks like there's going to happen? Oh, how many more police killings can you have until there's not an issue between black people somewhere and the police officers? Right, right. Like that situation that happened in Philly, only like times 10, where that brother shot up six of the police officers all by himself and was in like I forget how many hours long standoff it was, but it was hours. Even though they were serving a warrant on the wrong home, that type of thing. Don't worry. They don't have to believe me. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. The month is only June, y'all. This could happen. This could happen October, November. But we got a whole bunch of months to fill in between then. Hell, we got a whole bunch of days until the month ends. And people think I'm crazy. That's their problem. Once again, the people who leave are the type of people who aren't going to do anything. They're cowards. And they're the kind of people who actually have no backbone. They can't be trusted. They cannot be trusted. You better not trust them, black people. Person who disappears in the middle of an all black rally, right? Out of nowhere, like, yeah, I'll be right back. Can't trust them. No, no, nope. People are what they got to use the restroom. They would say that. There's things you expect people to do. Don't worry. The white people who shot that man in his back were like, we're about to blast your ass away, nigger. They just shot him. So when what's coming is going to come, it's not going to be a loud event. It's just going to be some shit that happens. And y'all better pray that it actually gets publicized. Because if there's no survivors, won't nobody know. And they'll tell us anything. Mm. All right. Don't worry, I'm slow clapping now. I'm gonna beat my case, y'all. Did y'all know that? Before we roll on out, because I'm an hour and a half in, I don't want to stretch on the whole 2 hours. I'm gonna beat my case. Mhm. I'm going to beat the criminal case. I'm going to beat I'm going to beat all of it because of the blood of the brothers and sisters who have been murdered and have been slain because of the unrighteousness that has taken place. They've given breath to my case, that life that it didn't have. I'm going to win for my brothers and sisters who have been murdered. I will not stand down and I will not let up. I will be the best person that I can be. There has never been a better time than to be yourself. And if you're afraid to stand up, then you're going to lose. I'm not even worried about it, sister. I, I'm I'm resolute to my victory. Right on. I am totally resolute to my victory. Totally resolute. Not even worried. At this point, I just have to just do the right thing, not get in trouble. The last time I had any kind of legal trouble was in 2018. If I go another 3 months, it'll be 2 years that I haven't had any kind of legal trouble at all, period. Dealing with legality may be totally different. But legal trouble, see, once again, people who haven't had to deal with those types of things, they just can't understand. And I don't blame them, and I'm not talking about dealing with traffic tickets. I'm talking about dealing with true criminal cases. You know what I mean? Where you face up to uh, a year in prison, or so many $1,000 fine, this, that, third. I'm there. They're probably going after protesters right now, as y'all hear in the background. Probably going after protesters right now as we speak. Rioters right now as we speak. It's too bad, huh? Having said that, man, I bless y'all. I really do. Let's say this before we end it all now. Did they think that the mental health glass house was going to fall down as fast as they did? Red Flagistan was swallowed up in Coronaville. And now they have no basis for Red Flagistan because people are going to use Coronaville as to why they went crazy. Right. Right. People going crazy is not going to be a good excuse. Don't worry. All these so-called surges in the cases of the corona stuff. Most people, when I say most people, a lot more people than you think eat pork. And there's a lot of people who eat seafood. Okay? There's a lot of people who just eat unclean animals altogether. So their bodies are fighting off poisons and toxins more so than they're not in a regular state. And because of such, they just don't understand, you know. Exactly. Mental illness is always, they're always going to try to say that, that somebody's mentally unsound, and this is why they did what they did. And it's like, am I really supposed to believe that a brother killed himself, man? Right? And that he has mental illness and all this stuff going on? No, man. Do brothers get sad? Do sisters, black people get depressed? Let's not act like it doesn't happen. It happens. Having said that, Once again, the only viable idea is that the young man was trying to set off something by doing that. Otherwise, I don't believe the young man harmed himself. I believe someone else did. It's just that simple. And for the world to need verification, for the world to need to be vindicated somehow is absurd. Black people, before I get ready to end it all out, because I got my meal that I've been prepping now for the last few hours, cooking for the last few hours. So I'm ready to go ahead and eat and get ready for tomorrow. I'm a basic brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna tell you guys a fabrication. Okay. I'm sad. So while I sit here and I partake in my meal, I'm just gonna pray for the souls of the lost. But more than I'm gonna pray for that, I'm gonna pray for the souls of the living, the other L word. And I'm gonna pray that for all the people that live right now that they have a chance at salvation. And that the Most High God forgive them. If they seek forgiveness. I speak nothing but life on my people. It is a shame that I don't get the credit for just speaking life unto us. The Most High God will come back to save those that ask him to be saved. He will not work on rhetorical business. Having said that, brothers and sisters, I appreciate every modicum and iota of your time. There was nothing more precious and nothing more valuable than what we call time. Having said that, I don't want to expend or to utilize any more of it than I've already um, partaken from you. I appreciate all your time, your energy, your effort. I just ask that you guys do the right thing. Quarantine stress hasn't killed anybody, bro, but police. I love y'all. I really do. I salute you. MA this week be better than last week. MA tomorrow be better than today. We're out.